I'm Professor Haystacks. This is my sister. Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca.
And this is her husband, Brian.
I'm Brian.
Brian's here to fact check us because he apparently remembers better than we are. We're going to do a review of Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
That's a really dumb name. Review number 1. Better name.
What did I call it?
It's a Star Wars story?
No. I just said the title of the movie.
That's part of my review.
Oh yes, Rogue One. Yeah, I was gonna call the review review of the Fates, but that works better for episode 1. Yeah, it does. It does seem like a Lifetime movie, doesn't it? They were trying to distinguish it from the main one. I thought it was much better in episode 7, which, as South Park famously lampooned, was more like a Happy Days reunion special than an independent film.
I mean, it was good. It was just the same plot of episode 4.
At least, once you got
episode
about
4.
halfway through, the first half of 7 I really liked because it was new. Rogan, what is it? Oh yeah, it opened with the Imperial scientists. They apparently have written Bevel Limelisk out of continuity.
What?
Yes, see, she doesn't know who that is. He
Belva?
was Bevel, like bevel, or like a bevel tool, and Limelisk is just somebody's name. He was the designer of the Death Star in the previous expanded universe.
As Beardy?
Beardy? What?
Beardy?
Beardy McBeardson?
What?
Yeah, that's who the character is.
Oh, the new character.
He's got
yes.
wife. He's got daughter.
Right.
No, daughter's
Beardy?
Jin. We know her name.
Jin?
Jin, yeah.
J-Y-N.
J-Y-N.
Jine.
Why is he Beardy McBeardson? Just because he has a beard?
Well, I'm not going to remember Belva.
No, that's not his name.
Wait.
Belva? Is that like some lady's
No,
name?
Bevel, like a bevel,
Is
like
that
a
his
tool.
name?
Star Wars graphic.
No, it's not. That was the name of the Death Star designer in the
Oh.
old expanded universe. They replaced him with this guy whose name is something else.
Well,
I
that's
can't
not
remember.
canon.
Hater no
What's director face said so?
Right. Well, they did bring Grand Admiral Thrawn back in, but that's a different movie. That's a different show. Fans really excited about that, and in fact, after swearing off of it, Timothy Zahn is coming back to the Star Wars universe to write a new canon story about Grand Moff Tarkin.
Is he going to be CGI in the new story? 'Cause
I
that would
know,
be awesome.
yeah.
He's not. No, it's not a movie. It's a book. He's CGI on the cover of the book.
Okay, good. Well, I would hope they wouldn't try
I
to
don't.
get a
I
new
don't know if
picture
people can hear you or not, but we'll see. I'm going to adjust the levels as best I can when I get here. Yeah, well, it's got the relative sound levels with respect to the background recording that I can fiddle with. Yes. I wish we had more than one mic, but this is from Karaoke Revolution
Wait,
American
what's
Idol
Beardy's
edition.
name then?
I do not
Orson
know.
Or something.
Orson?
Orso?
I don't think his
Orso?
name was Orson.
Yeah,
Orso.
Orso. Pretty sure it's Orso.
I don't know what his last name was. They said it at some point.
They said her name a lot.
Lynn,
With
yeah.
the last name.
Right.
Lynn?
Jin.
Jin. Oh, Jin. Right. Like, I don't know, that's like a genie.
They didn't spend much time like making you learn the names. I think because
There was
Yo,
Lyra.
because they all
Lyra?
died.
What was the mom's name? Lyra?
Something like that.
Like Turkish Lyra?
Yeah. Why do you know that?
I don't know. He
That's
kept saying
Foxtrot
it.
thing.
He said it a bunch.
No, I meant the Turkish lira.
The money in Turkey. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, there was a Foxtrot thing about it. At the time, the exchange rate was 77,000 lira to the dollar. I think they've revalued the lira since then. It's only like 1,000 now. But,
What?
oh, they went to the
They
euro.
went to the Euro.
Oh, okay. Turkey went to the euro,
Dad,
apparently.
could you read somewhere else?
No. What? No. Yeah, Greece went to the euro. The old joke is, what's a Grecian?
Greece killed the Euro.
What's a Grecian earn? And the new punchline is not as much since converting to the euro. It's not good, but it's a joke. So what do we had? Okay, now, so they get
Blue
the
milk. Opening shot.
oh yeah, they do show the blue milk, which in Darson Droids was a way of suppressing force powers, but that's not canon.
Which I think is hilarious.
Isn't that
No.
that wombat thing? That little like mouse?
Wombat?
Yeah, that suppresses force powers.
Oh,
No,
that's
was from the books.
That was from the books. I don't think that's canon anymore.
Yeah.
I forget what that was called, but yeah.
Ferret.
No, the Vornskers are what their predators were. They were Salamiri. There's a Y on the beginning, so you got to on that. But that's not canon anymore. They're in one of the video games, but most of those aren't canon either.
They should make a movie about Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, and people have requested he to be put back in canon, but he's currently not, because you remember in the first 3 levels of Dark Forces, you had to go find the Death Star plans, and Kyle Katarn found them.
Oh.
But now he didn't because this other stuff happened.
Oh, okay.
And we have generic Rebel pilot number 463, who finds the girl and they do stuff. Honestly, I barely remember the beginning
black
of the
guy
film.
found the girl.
Black guy?
Black guy.
Well, no,
Forrest
he
Whitaker.
raised her. Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest
raised
Whitaker
her.
raised her, right.
He didn't find her? Who found her
He
in
found
that
her.
hole?
He found her in the hole. We're talking about later in the movie where she's in the
K2
carrier.
K2 and Kasarian busted her out of the
Whatever his
jail
name
thing.
was, yeah. Honestly,
Did they
the,
say why
Prince
she was
Cassidy.
in the jail?
while she was in the jail, stealing apparently.
Oh, okay.
They didn't really dwell on
There
it.
was Fat Spy who got killed.
Oh yes, he was killed by the rebel guy,
I think
by a
he
generic
had
rebel pilot.
a bad arm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
couldn't crawl out of that pit.
Plot
this is
they were in.
device.
this is supposed to show a moral gray area, but I mean it's Star Wars. I don't really watch it for the moral gray areas. So this made things like the implied indoor Holocaust, which isn't canon by the way.
Or Holocaust.
The fact that the Death Star pieces would have hit Endor and would have
Oh.
killed the Ewoks, but actually those calculations were based on the hologram, which was not to scale. When you actually see it in the movie, it's too far away.
Oh.
And then canonically, the warp core of the Death Star 2 opened a hole into warp space that most of the pieces fell through.
And
That's
those-
actually the explanation.
Those books, man.
Well, that was actually on Wikipedia. I think that explanation is still canon.
Oh.
Anyway, so the pilot has moral questionable things,
Here's
and
the
they go
real
through all that.
question. Is the Star Wars Christmas special still canon?
I don't think it was ever canon. I think George Lucas declared it non-canon like almost as soon as it was made because he didn't write it.
You know, he shouldn't have just given away the rights to the story that way. It's
Yeah.
his own fault. I say it's canon.
Well, and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford were apparently super high while filming that.
Well, Carrie Fisher was super high for the majority of the 80s.
Oh, that's true. But that was the 70s. The special Holly special was
whatever,
79.
The late 70s.
Yeah. And they just did not care. And the plot meanders all over
She was
the
promoting
place.
her singing career.
Oh, right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. She sings in that one.
She does.
I have yet to see it. I need to get a bootleg DVD from
She
a
was
convention.
trying to start a non-existent singing career, so they had her sing. She insisted on singing.
Right, and she doesn't. She's high while singing, so it doesn't come across very well. Yeah, write while high, edit while sober.
I suppose.
Sing while sober too, apparently. Anyway, they established right from the beginning that the rebellion is doing morally questionable things, in which case, why prefer them over the Empire? Just because of some mystical Jedi says stuff
The Empire
says so.
are dressed as Nazis, so clearly
Yeah,
they're
well,
the bad
apparently
guys.
they do that.
And then in Episode
but-
7, they dress them more as the Nazis.
Yeah, not subtle there. And they got the Death Troopers who are evoking
who are the
Holocaust
Death-
scars. Those are the black stormtroopers, except
black
by
stormtroopers?
black armor, black armored stormtroopers.
In which movie?
This one, Rogue One.
Wait, where were they?
At the end, they were the personal guard of that guy,
Oh,
In the
okay,
white.
Yeah,
the commander of the Death Star.
they were like the SS.
Most of the personal guard are the red dudes.
Oh,
The guys wearing red and the
Oh,
black.
you're thinking of
They're
it.
just
That was in the
specialized.
those early movies.
There's in this movie too.
What?
Well, they were guarding
yeah,
the-
they were in there. They were guarding
okay.
Vader, the royal guards who are dressed in red. They were in movie the episode 6, and then they were in this one.
Well, here's another complaint. Vader wasn't shiny enough. His suit used to be hard plastic, and now it's rubber.
'Cause that's what strikes fear. in
Yeah,
the hearts of
yeah.
people.
And his
Shiny
eyes
suits.
are super red for some reason.
Well, and you can actually see some of his eyes past the lenses. Which
Well, in
was
the old
freaky.
one, not in this one.
No, in this one you could. Yeah.
Well, I was too distracted by the fact that they were red,
Yeah, and they were too red.
and he wasn't shiny enough.
Yeah, and then they showed him in in a Bacta tank, I guess, like the thing in Empire that he
Oh,
was in. And they saw his face. Was that CGI, I guess.
I don't.
Well,
I don't know.
Grand Moff Tarkin was CGI because, of course, the original actor for Tarkin died like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived to be 80
Well,
something.
and Darth Vader also now sounds like Mufasa because James Earl Jones got old.
Right. Well,
So, he
but
sounds like
it's
Mufasa
pretty
now.
close.
I mean,
and-
it's still the same
It's
guy.
still the same
he just
guy.
sounds really old.
Yeah, and they had a different guy in the R2D2 costume because that
No,
guy
that guy
died.
died,
But,
but,
he was
I mean,
actually live when they
How
filmed. He was
long
too sick.
was he on screen? Like
Not
Half a
much.
second?
Yeah, half a
Need
second.
anybody in the suit.
I don't know if it's the
Put
same
him
C-3PO.
Wait, is that why he didn't appear very much in episode 7? Because that guy was sick?
I think so, yes. But the
Oh.
episode 7 was a new actor. He was training the guy.
Yeah, but he was just at the end.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, in the
That
R2D2
explains
suit,
that,
he's powered
actually.
down, just sitting there not moving.
One assumes that was the
guy
remote.
being there.
Until they had cut out all the.
Yes.
I don't know
Well,
what
there's no
disease
microphone in
he
there.
had. Yeah.
But no, they had a different guy in the suit for for the 2 minutes
very
R2D2
end.
moves in episode 7. Yeah, Darth Vader was not shiny. Tarkin was obviously CGI, and it was very
Really
disturbing.
obviously CGI.
I found out Leia was not. That was actually Carrie Fisher's daughter.
No, it wasn't.
That's what.
I'm pretty sure she's
that's
CGI.
what-
No,
that's the
she
present
was
one.
CGI. No,
Okay, well,
she was.
okay.
That was not
Well-
her daughter does not look that much like her.
Okay, well, it was
Yeah.
her daughter was the actress that they CGI'd over, right?
They
Okay,
probably
yeah.
just drew dots on her face and
Right.
overlaid her face on her.
Leia wasn't on screen for much. Honestly, I
but
expected
she
her
does
face to just be like
not
shadowed.
look close enough to Carrie Fisher
Yeah,
to
okay,
play
fair
a
enough.
young Carrie Fisher.
But I mean, Leia was only on screen for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but why? They didn't.
yeah, and they
there
didn't
was
even
no
need to show
reason
her
to
face.
show her.
You
It was
could've
just showing off their budget.
Well, it was logical to show her, but they didn't have to show her face because you don't see her face in episode 4 until like later.
yeah,
right?
she's just like a hooded.
Right, she's a
figure.
hooded character.
Or they just could have skipped that part, frankly.
Yeah, and it's like the.
Like, we know what happens. We know she gets.
And this
it.
was this was actually a nitpick with episode 4 that people had, that the Tantive 4 is actually over a different planet when it's being fired on than Tatooine. So apparently the escape pods have hyperdrive, why?
Wait, it's over a brown planet, isn't it?
Oh, it is in the special edition, but I think originally it wasn't.
Oh.
I guess we can chalk that up to
Yeah,
special
okay,
effects
but
failure.
there was no VCRs back then,
That's
so they
true.
thought nobody would notice that.
That's true. I mean, even in theaters, I bet some people did. I gotta check my DVD laser disc capture editions to see.
You have a laser disc of
No,
Star Wars?
the
Oh.
Star Wars special edition. There were DVDs of Star Wars that captured the laserdisc copies of the original trilogy to
Oh.
get the theatrical version. Terrible quality. LucasArts claimed that they couldn't get a better quality, which was BS. But they're like, "Oh, we've done too much to the film." No, then people who do film editing are like, "No, that's not how you edit film." They could have. They
I'm
chose
sure
not
they had
to.
the original film. Think how many
Yeah, they do.
copies there were.
And well, there was a copy of it that played in California, like around the same time. But anyway, so there's a lot of noise on those, but it exists at least. It's annoying. What else do we have here? Betamax.
Betamax.
Yes, but it wasn't aired on TV. So there may be. I don't know when Star Wars
How many
first aired on
copies are
TV.
there of the Betamax out there?
Well, there are
Like
Betamax
100?
copies of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
That's well.
But I don't know about
Because
the
it only
movies.
aired the one time.
Right.
So.
And it's been copied to death. So the bootlegs you find of it are usually pretty
Well,
low quality.
you don't need to buy a bootleg now. It's on YouTube.
Well, that's true. It is on YouTube.
I mean, it's low quality, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the DVDs you can buy at conventions are low quality.
Hmm.
It's like it's White and Nerdy where he goes to the back alley to buy the Star Wars Holiday Special DVD. And then, of course, we get to... And the droid was the only comic relief. He was actually pretty good at it. I would have rather had him than, like, C-3PO later.
Well, but they want him to be. They want C-3PO to be in every single movie.
Yeah, I guess. I just mean, like, in future movies, I would rather have than more C-3PO.
No, but he died. If a droid can die,
Yeah.
then
well,
he died.
He did die. Although, admittedly, previously, a single shot had killed those droids. He took, like, 20.
Or maybe
Which-
the rebellion beat
You
him
don't
up
know?
after they
Yeah.
hacked him.
Maybe.
They could have
They
coded
didn't
him in
hack him,
something.
Maybe. Or it was just the fact that he was being shot at by stormtroopers who have no aim. Although
I mean,
if you
no,
play...
he got shot.
If you play Jedi Knight, that's because the Stormtrooper rifle has heavy kickback, and so it makes it shoot all over the place.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a very good movie if they got shot right away.
That's true. I've also seen an
like
explanation
if Luke and
that...
Leia were just
Right.
they were like swinging across and somebody just
Well,
shot
I've also
them.
seen an explanation that in wars they've done studies that like only 20% of the soldiers actually aim at anyone. Most people just shoot randomly because they don't
Oh.
really want to kill anyone.
Yeah.
So they just kind of shoot in the general direction of enemies. And they noted that the only time stormtroopers hit anything are when they're shooting rebels that are wearing helmets, so you can't see their faces.
John Boyega didn't shoot at anybody.
Who did?
John Boyega, he's the black stormtrooper.
Oh, yeah.
He had a change of
Oh,
heart.
also the stormtrooper that knocked his head died this year.
Oh,
It wasn't, like,
the
brain
extra
related.
that played?
Yeah, that would
Oh.
knock his head, and then they enhanced the sound effect in the special edition so you
Well,
could hear it.
Because everybody noticed it was
Everybody
there.
noticed it, yeah.
So,
I've still never caught where Darth Vader's wearing tennis shoes, apparently, but
I don't know.
it's supposedly an Empire.
They probably took it out in the special edition.
Anyway,
They probably just put.
I
it
was
back
honestly
on the
expecting like only Jin and that other rebel guy to survive, or
I
possibly
really
just
wanted Jin to survive because I want there to be
Right.
more movies about Jin.
Jin. Right, she
They
was
could
actually
make
a
one
great
about
character.
how she ends up in jail.
That's true.
Like a
um,
prequel to this prequel.
yeah, and they had a guy that was like Admiral Akbar, but not.
What about Blind Jedi? He was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was.
I was
He
sad
was not a
died.
Jedi. He was a Force monk.
Well, whatever.
And they name dropped the Wills, which were from George Lucas's original screenplay. They didn't make it on screen in the original trilogy. Yeah, the Wills were supposedly the people writing the story that was Star Wars
Oh,
that Lucas like found on a beam of light or something. I don't know. It was not fully fleshed out. But so they name dropped them with the Temple of the Wills, and it was like the last Jedi temple or whatever. And they had that blind guy who goes, "I am the Force.
Well,
The Force is with me."
is that the only place the crystals come from? How are there going to?
Oh,
be
they say
more?
they're formed in the hearts of stars if you paid attention.
Oh,
The thing is, white dwarf stars, their core crystallizes into super dense diamond. So I think and it's mixed with trace amounts of other elements. So I think the thing they're saying is that those lightsaber crystals are made from the hearts of white dwarfs. And the way they would get on the planets is when a white dwarf is next to a larger star and the star's gas spirals on, white dwarfs have a hard mass limit. They can't be more than 1.44 solar masses. If they get more than that through accumulating gas, they explode. And all their material, including the core, spreads out over the entire solar system and beyond. It's called a
so
Type
wait,
1A
were
supernova.
they on a star?
They were on a planet. So the idea there would be
planet
that the
had
planet had originally had two suns, and one had exploded, and that was billions of years ago. So it had gotten life back, or whatever. Or it had gotten meteorites fragmented from another solar system, which can happen, but not often, because space is very big. It also would be possible to create them in other means.
So who were
because
those rebels
it's
hanging
diamonds.
out on that planet? They were like
They were a splinter group that was apparently killing Imperial
or something?
civilians. Yeah, they were considered
Oh.
evil because they were deliberately targeting civilians.
that was Forrest Whitaker was hanging out with them.
no. He was their leader.
He had
wasn't
emphysema.
Yeah.
He did. He had an oxygen
was-
tank, like
right.
a modern oxygen
Well, you
tank.
noticed he got more paranoid when he breathed from that, so I think there was medicine in there, like opioids.
Nah, I think it was just oxygen.
No. But I did notice he got more paranoid when he took a breath from that. And the comparison to Darth Vader
Jacked
was
up eye.
definitely there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the jacked up eye. Because he was like half mechanical. He had
Well,
like no limbs.
Also, Forrest Whitaker has a jacked up eye, so
Well, there's
there
that.
you go.
I think that covers most everything. It did explain why the Death Star had such a bizarre flaw in the first place, that it was deliberately put there by a rogue engineer.
It's put there by the plot device.
Well, hello.
It's,
But
yeah.
now here we get to argue, much like in Apollo 13, that the engineer was the real hero of this story because he put the flaw in the
Well,
Death
I mean,
Star.
yeah. Well, he
Yes.
wasn't the engineer though.
No,
The
he was.
engineers were all those old people they shot on that.
Well,
balcony.
okay, he was the architect, but he was one of that's an engineering type job, so he was one of the engineers in a way.
I didn't understand why they didn't shoot him.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely clear on that. I mean, they did like 5 seconds later. But,
I mean, obviously they were probably shooting the engineers so they wouldn't go work on like rival projects, but
well, so they wouldn't
why
reveal the
didn't-
secret of the Death Star.
Why didn't they shoot that guy too? I mean, obviously
I'm
that guy
not
was
entirely
dangerous.
clear on that.
I imagine you want to keep him alive to get.
I
more
think they thought he
information
was
out
too.
of him.
Yeah, they wanted to know who he had told and what the
Yeah.
flaw was.
Oh.
That's why they kept him
Oh
alive.
yeah, what the flaw was. Yeah.
Right, because they didn't know. And in episode 4, they only figured out while the rebels are actually attacking.
Yeah.
We've analyzed the attack, sir, and there is a danger.
Was Admiral Akbar there?
No, it was a different.
Radish.
He
It was
should
a
have been
different. What,
Radish.
what's their species?
I don't know.
They had Admiral Radish.
Well,
What
it's
was
like
his name?
Radus or something.
Radis.
I'm pretty
anyway.
sure it was Radish.
Radish. Anyway, they had him. He looked like Akbar, but was not. That's the. Oh, they're the Mon Calamari. That's right.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
that's
pretty-
Very punny.
Calamari. Oh,
Calamari.
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Um,
Calamari.
I thought it was strange that they were like, "No, we're going to surrender," and then they were like, "Wait a minute, let's go be Rogue One."
Yep.
And I thought it would have made more sense if they were just like, "We'll take volunteers to go on this suicide mission,"
Yeah,
more than
I know.
"No, let's just give up. This rebellion thing's over. And they're like, let's go be the rogues.
Especially
One.
since they weren't entirely certain that the Death Star was real.
Anytime a character looks into the lens and says the name of the movie, it's a bad thing.
Like, to solve this problem, I must become
Be
Superman
Rogue
4.
One.
To solve this problem, I must become Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Which did not, of course, happen
The worst
in the movie.
offender of that is the Netflix show The Crown.
They say The Crown all the time?
The Crown at least twice
Do they
in
look
every
at the
episode.
camera when they do it?
They don't always look at the camera, but sometimes they do.
Yeah. Stop jimming the camera.
They use The Crown when it's totally inappropriate, just because it's the name. Like, they never say The Monarchy. They always say The Crown.
The Crown, which, I mean, is an expression, but I don't know that they use it all the time.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, anyway, very depressing. I was...
Well, you knew it was going to be
Not gonna make
depressing
it.
because that 70s blonde lady in the long robe said that everybody died in the fourth movie. Many lives were lost.
No,
she
no,
said.
that was in the 6th movie.
Wait, about the Death Star plans?
That was the Death Star 2 plans, where she said many Bothans died to bring us this information.
No, I'm pretty sure it was in episode
She wasn't in episode 4.
She wasn't? Yes, she was.
No, she wasn't. She was in episode 5 and 6. And the
Well, then
character,
who was leading that meeting?
Leia,
Oh,
and General Dodona, who appeared in this movie, though it was a different actor. That might have been CGI
they
too.
couldn't
but
afford to pay another actor
he's
to have
minor.
lines.
Yeah,
You have
well,
to pay extras more when you give them
and
lines.
interesting thing, Mon Mothma in this movie was the person who played Mon Mothma in episodes 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
But was different from the 70s
well,
lady
yeah,
that
because
played
that
her.
lady
Yeah.
would be super old.
That lady played Mon Mothma as voice in some animated stuff, but in the Family Guy Star Wars, Carrie
Wait,
Fisher
she was
did
in
Mon Mothma's
episode
voice.
2 and 3?
She was in very brief scenes.
How would she be so young in episode 4 then?
Yeah, that's not very clear. She was in a very brief scene in episode 2. You barely saw her in the Senate. In episode 3, yeah, we're doing a thing.
We're filming something, Mom.
In episode 3, Mon Mothma was with in some deleted scenes. In the actual theatrical version, she only appears for a split second. But in some deleted scenes, there's a scene where they're forming the rebellion with the Alderaan guy,
well, I don't
who
know.
of course they named her up there as like, I must go back to Alderaan and warn our people.
I only saw that movie once, and I mostly remember that Darth Vader's suit was made out of rubber, and it bent, and you could see it like crease.
In 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were scenes where you could definitely see it like crease up.
Yeah.
Because it was clearly like, they're like, well, we don't want Hayden Christensen to be uncomfortable, so we made it out of this pliable rubber.
In fairness to Hayden Christensen, I have heard that it was whoever the director was, Lucas and whoever else was directing, there were two different people, kept telling him not to emote in episodes 2 and 3, so he just came off as a psychopath.
I mean, but what else has he been in? It's not like he was good in other stuff.
I don't actually know what he's
Though
else has been in.
admittedly, Natalie Portman is great in other stuff, and she's
Yeah.
terrible in Star Wars, so I do think there was some directing.
Honestly,
issues.
I like the kid in episode 1 better than Hayden
No,
Christensen.
he was like the quintessential terrible child actor. I think they found him in a
Yeah,
talent
but
search.
he
I don't think he was actually an
merely bad.
actor. That's true. He was bad, like
He
child
wasn't
actors are bad.
psychopathically bad. Oh.
They should have just kept him on.
Yeah.
He was too young too.
Yeah, he was too young for
It
later
didn't
because
make
there's a
sense
time skip between episode 1 and 2.
That he would end up with Natalie Portman.
And in the early treatments, Anakin in episode 1 was like 12 or
Was like
something,
14,
or
yeah.
14. They dropped him down to like 10, I think,
Yeah, he looked younger.
and it made no sense.
I think the actor was 10, but he looked
Yeah.
younger than 10. And they gave him a weird 90s bowl cut, like he was going to be in a Tim Allen movie.
Well, I mean, they were slaves, so I mean, you can do it. That's
So
probably,
that means his mom put a bowl on his head and cut
Probably.
around it?
probably cut with a laser because it's Star Wars, but.
I don't know.
Now we're going to take this laser and shoot your eye until you can see
That
better.
blue guy should have cut his hair. Annie.
Watto?
Annie.
The horrible Jewish stereotype.
Yeah.
With a giant nose who only cares about money.
There's this YouTuber, Greg Miller, who says that, the big fat things they're writing at the beginning of episode 4. That's like...
Dewbacks?
What's his name? What's his name?
Sebulba?
Sebulba.
No. Sebulba's the racer.
Well,
Watto.
that's what
Watto.
Watto turns into. He's like,
Apparently.
Eddie! They're riding me, Eddie! I'm a horse, Eddie!
Okay.
I'm a horse now.
I gotta go see that. Also plug for, what was it about this? The Seagull song. Go watch that.
That's some bad lip reading, which has a lot.
Bad lip
It has a
reading.
lot of really good stuff, but that one's well, it's
particularly
good because Yoda's a puppet, which means his
Right.
mouth doesn't
His
really
mouth
form
doesn't
words,
form words
which
anyway.
means you can kind of put any words.
Yeah, and then I heard that they actually, in the Blu-ray release of Episode 1, they actually replaced the puppet Yoda with a CGI Yoda. He was a
Episode
puppet.
1?
Yeah, in Episode 1,
Well,
Yoda was
he's only
originally a
sitting
puppet.
in the chair.
That's true.
He's-
Well, that's why he was, because he was a puppet.
He was barely in it though.
Yeah.
He walked around in Episode 6.
Around the survivors.
And Episode 5.
Yeah, he was still a puppet, but they had
He
a
walked
special
around.
stage
Frank,
thing.
It's
It
Frank
was,
Oz.
yeah.
Built up stage.
Yeah, and built
That's
up
how they
stage.
do the Muppets. 6-foot tall stage.
Very, very tricky stuff there.
Yep.
Frank Oz was said in Episode 2 to be happy he didn't have to lug a 10-pound puppet around.
Well, he's getting older,
Yeah.
Frank Oz.
It was a big. I was kind of hoping we might see a cameo from Yoda in this one since he was alive at this point in the timeline.
But he was hiding at in the Swamp Planet.
Yeah, and we heard mention of Obi-Wan, but he didn't appear.
Oh, I thought it would be really horrible and funny if they made Alec Guinness CGI because he hated Star Wars.
That would have been
Since
funny.
there are other
Yes.
dead CGI actors.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he hated Star Wars so
Random
much.
note: the guy who originally played Grand Moff Tarkin played Doctor Who in the theatrical adaptations.
No.
And
Interesting. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Theatrical? Like
they
on-
did theatrical. Yeah,
stage?
on the no, sorry, not theatrical. Film adaptations.
Oh, okay.
They did film adaptations of 2 of the serials, and he was the doctor in those. And he was actually quite good. He was
Well,
better.
that's what
than
they need in the next. Because
It
are they
was
going to do
good.
another one of these 4.5? What are they going to do?
The
They make
next one's
videos?
about Han Solo.
Oh, okay.
And it's a
well, who's
prequel.
playing young Harrison Ford?
I do not know.
Oh, is that why Donald Glover is going to be Lando?
Probably.
Probably in that one, because I thought he was going to show up in this one, and he
Yeah.
didn't.
So the next one, I think it's next year. It might be 2018. Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
2018 sometime.
Well, because they're doing
Han Solo
one
movie.
every year, and the next
Right.
one is
So next one's
8.
episode 8. Yeah, and
I hope is Lando still living, right? That actor.
yeah,
I hope he's in episode 8.
that would be kind of cool,
but like
actually.
just old.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still acts or what, but I
Right.
hope he does.
Well, I think Carrie Fisher's supposed to be in episode 8.
Well, she might. It might depend on her health.
Yeah, that's
unless they've already
entirely
filmed
possible. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously Harrison Ford isn't going to kill his
I
character
love
off.
seeing Carrie Fisher do publicity because she's insane.
Yeah, she has her dog
She
everywhere.
shows up with this ancient dog. It's got no teeth.
We had a dog
And-
to show, but we don't. All right, we had one unscheduled interruption, but there's going to be so many cuts in this, it's not even going to be noticeable.
Okay.
All right, so we just really need to do a sign off. So that's Rogue One. Anyone have any more thoughts on that? Well,
I hope there's no more CGI people and more Lando.
yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that. I think CGI people are kind of a thing ever since that Tupac hologram.
He wasn't CGI. That was
That's
just
true.
video of him previously. That
Now that's
they
true,
did like a
but
Pepper
that
Jones
was the
kinda
start
thing.
of resurrecting people.
Where they do it over like mist.
Yeah. That was the start of resurrecting dead celebrities. So it's going to be a thing now.
Well,
Of course, Carrie Fisher's not dead, but she looks old now. Okay, well, I guess that's it.
they might do young Harrison Ford. They might do CGI Harrison Ford.
That might be a
Though
problem.
I can't imagine he would agree to that.
I hope they don't.
So they'll probably recast Harrison Ford.
I liked when he was on Conan. It's like a long time ago in another galaxy, and people corrected him. And he goes, "Oh, there was a Star Wars movie, and I hear they are thinking of making another one."
He can be a real jerk. So
Yeah,
he was like
that's true.
such a jerk to Jimmy Fallon.
Really?
Jimmy Fallon was
Maybe
so
that wasn't
excited to
Jimmy
meet him,
Fallon.
and it was not.
I think
good.
that was on Conan
It
though.
was
Conan was
really
trying to get
awkward.
info about the episode 7.
It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah, of course Ford did.
I
He
saw it,
gave him
but-
like $100 bill, and then Ford pocketed it and then said
That sounds very much like Conan O'Brien. So
Yeah.
it's probably Conan O'Brien.
Conan. Anyway, we'll bring our third sibling on for his little segment at the end
I
here.
don't. Has he seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And after a weird cut with a different background, we have our third sibling, Ben, here. You want a pen name? Yeah, Ben works. All right, we got our third sibling, Ben, here for his thoughts on Rogue One.
It's a pretty great movie. It's met up to all expectations, and definitely watch it again.
Thank you, Ben. And that's all we have for today. Join us in like a year for the next Star Wars movie. Good night and drive safely.